What's up everybody, welcome back to the Art of Crypto, the birthplace of absolutely legendary gains. In this video, we are going to take another updated look at Bitcoin and figure out exactly where Bitcoin is going to go next. Is it going to keep dumping? Is it going to go pump? And if you want to just figure out the exact levels that I will be looking at for Bitcoin, you're going to want to stick to the end of this video. But right before we dive right into it, if you haven't already followed me on Twitter, @_ the Art of Crypto, you're going to want to do so. This is where I'm sharing the latest market updates, as well as any plays that I might be looking at that I cannot share on YouTube, simply because of time constraints. And for those of you looking to join the private group, I'm going to be opening this up on 29th of August, Sunday, 10 AM EST. It's going to be open for a very short amount of time, as well as a very limited amount of space. So just a heads up for whoever is looking into this. So right now, let's dive into Bitcoin. So the thing that sticks out to me the most is the fact that we have broken structure on the 4 hourly. Now, if you don't know what that means, it is basically, I'm just going to draw this out as a protected low. And basically what that means is, imagine if your institution, right, the hedge funds, the banks, they're trying to go long on Bitcoin or any coin for that matter. And let's say that they go long here. Do you think with their ability, they would allow the price to fall below that level? Clearly not, because they're the ones holding the hundreds of millions of dollars, potentially billions. And if they want to move the markets, they can. And for those of you who do not believe that the markets are manipulated, I know the truth is hard to accept, but sometimes you just gotta accept reality. So at the moment, this protected low has been broken. And not only that, but for any of you who have watched my channel for any period of time, basically, you know that I talk about order blocks a lot. And over here, you can see that the last bullish block, right, before a massive move downwards, that is your bearish order block. And order blocks are basically just areas where institutions like to push the price to, like basically the price just gyrates between order blocks, right? Just think of like order blocks as areas of manipulation. And just to prove to you that it works, right, over here you have the last bearish candle before a massive move upwards. And again, this is all happening on the 4 hourly chart. Now look at this last bearish candle, look at where the price dips, right, bam, right, and look at where the price goes to, bam, right. This is like textbook example of order blocks. And at the moment, we have fulfilled both conditions of Bitcoin to be bearish. And if you watched the previous video that I made on Bitcoin, I was warning you guys that the funding rates were getting really high for comfort. And I was mentioning that, hey, you get like expect a flash crash. So hopefully for those of you who watched that video, you would have understood that you would have sniped the Bitcoin here, right? Over here at this order block right here, which I called. And hopefully you guys were safe during this entire time. So as I was saying, Bitcoin has broken, basically Bitcoin has fulfilled both my conditions for a bearish reversal, which is breaking a protected low as well as filling in a bearish order block. And basically what I mean by this is when you are bullish, you will attack all the previous highs. So for example, over here you have previous protected highs, right? You have previous swing highs. And when you are bullish, notice how the price attacks it, right? Goes slightly above it, retrace, and then attacks the next one, right? And that is when you are bullish. When you are bearish, you tend to attack the previous lows. So notice how the price dipped right just a tiny bit below this previous low right here, right? This is, it just reeks of institutional manipulation. And hopefully by now you are able to come to terms with that. So let's figure out exactly where Bitcoin is trying to go next. So immediately my eyes are going to be going onto the daily chart to spot for any potential order blocks, and we do not have any on the daily, but we do have one very nice one on the 8 hourly. So this is going to be the next order block that you're going to want to watch for. And not only that, right, the VPVR, if you look at the side here, it reflects that this order block is actually valid. So now that we have identified a higher time frame level, we have to go into a lower time frame to narrow down our entries. And for now, I'm going to immediately ignore this level right here at about 46k, right? 46k is going to be like the next level of support for Bitcoin to find. But remember what I said about when you are bearish, you tend to attack the previous lows. And at the moment, this is going to be your previous lows. I'm actually not going to mark this down, but over here, right here, this is going to be your previous lows at about 44k. Yeah, about 44k. So I'm just going to mark down that level. So basically, as long as Bitcoin remains bearish, you're going to want to see Bitcoin break below 44k. And there are a few very good justifications for that to happen. First off, we have a couple of, you have this one unfilled bullish order block over here, and I'm going to mark that down. and we're going to get back to this one later. And in fact, this is going to be the place where I will look to load up on Bitcoin, and this is a trade that I called in my private group almost like 3 weeks ago, and it is still very, very valid. So basically, the reason why you will attack like previous lows basically when you're bearish is because imagine if you are retail, right, and you're going to look at this level 44k, right? Hey, look, price found support here, price found support here, right? Maybe got rejected here. This is going to be a strong level. So as retail, what would retail do in this scenario? Of course, they would go long here. And imagine if everyone was going long at this level right here, where would everyone's stop losses be? I would assume right below here. So this is the magic of knowing that when, you know, and this is like the reason why when you're bearish, you attack the lows. When you're bullish, right, everyone's going to go short, 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 right? And then where's all the stop losses? Right above. And that's why you see these kinds of really big green candles, right? This is caused by short liquidations. And hopefully now you have a better understanding of how the market works. And if you feel like you've learned a thing or two, it would help me so much if you could just drop a like button. It's a small gesture, but it really helps a lot. So not only have we filled the two conditions that I look for in a bearish reversal, we have also broken below this trend line over here. And if you pay close attention to this trend line, you can see that technically this was a rising wedge. And if you know anything about technical patterns, you know that rising wedges tend to break lower about 68% of the time. And basically it's just, you know, bearish. Like I did warn you guys to pick up Bitcoin lower, right? So hopefully this time you will take my advice. So this is going to be the next level that I would look to pick up Bitcoin in order to, you know, basically just the next level of support. And that's going to be at 46k, or to put it safer, you could put it at 46,100. So expect this level to hold as support. And if it doesn't, then you are going to want to just dollar cost average on this entire bullish order block right here. So if I was looking at Bitcoin and I were to pick up Bitcoin at these three levels, then this would be my stop loss right at about 43k. Now I know that this stop loss seems a bit wide, but we are banking on the fact that usually bullish order blocks tend to hold, right? Institutions like to push the price in between order blocks, right? You fill in this order block, then it's going to go to this order block, and then it's going to pump, right? Something like that. So we're banking on that fact. So this is going to be a risky entry for sure, right? Risky entry for sure. But we have to play things to probabilities here. We are just going to, you know, we know that bullish order blocks are usually a high probability entry. So we just play according to the odds. This has been a tried and tested, you know, sort of entry. And so we're just going to take advantage of that. So your entries for Bitcoin, and this is going to be your stop loss, which I am actually going to mark out using a stop loss. So right about this level, it's going to be your stop loss at 43,100-ish, right? If you do, like basically, the reason why I'm setting it at 43k instead of, you know, slightly higher, you could set it higher, but then, you know, you're not giving price enough wiggle room to play around. So imagine, remember what I talked about liquidations, right? If everyone's stop losses was below this level at 44k, then the price is likely going to rip, just wick slightly down below, clear out all the stop losses before moving to the next order block. So in this case, let me just remove this bullish order block, and this right here is going to be your first take profit target. Over here is going to be your second. This is your third. This is your fourth. Maybe not there. You're going to want to take profit at about 51.5k, and I'll get to why that is later. So this is going to be your first entry for Bitcoin over here. I'll give you a little bit of time to mark it down. And this is going to be your second entry for Bitcoin. And this, if you remember what I mentioned, this is a trade that I called in my private Discord group. And by the way, if you want to get access to more of these sniper trades that I'm posting a lot, and this stuff is like spot on. Like I'm not going to get into mentioning the private Discord group right now, but over here, check it out. Bitcoin limit long. I'm actually going to remove this pretty soon. So just take these three levels, right? 41,800, 41,200, 4350. This is going to be your stop loss, 39,600. And these are going to be your take profits. In fact, don't use those take profits, right? So I hope you had a little bit of time to mark this down. Remember, I'm going to actually remove, I'll remove 42,620, right? So use these three levels. And the stop loss remains the same. The TPs, you're going to want to use the ones that I'm going to give in the charts. So assuming that you do get Bitcoin over here, then this is going to be another TP. So before I get into the TPs for this lower entry, I'm going to get into TPs for if you get this entry right here. So that's going to be 47,300, 48,560, 50k, and 50.5k. So the reason why 50.5k is because it's a previous high right over here, right? Back during the flash crash, if you just take a look here. So if you break above 50, basically 51.5k, then there is a very good chance that you're going to pump straight to about 54k. And these are going to be your take profit targets for Bitcoin. So just to get into how to use these entries is basically, if you say you had $1,000 to play with, what I would do is I would go in with $200 on the first entry, maybe $300 on the second, and $500 on the bottom one. So doing so will allow you to get an optimal position, because nobody knows like where exactly is the bottom. Like, I can predict that this will be very close. Now, I can predict that price has a good chance of bouncing from any of these three areas, but at the end of the day, I don't know if it's going to bounce here or if it's going to bounce here. So you just want to average out your entry, right? This is what every smart trader does. Every trader that knows what they're doing this. So make sure you dollar cost average. One of the best, right? One of the best things that you can do for yourself as a trader. So now to get into the TPs for the lower entry, you are going to want to TP at 44k, and then you're just going to want to use the rest of these levels similarly, right? You're just going to add one at 44k. If you do pick it up at about 41k, you're going to take some at 44k. So similar to entries, you're going to want to take profit in partials as well. So maybe 25% here, 25% here, 25% here, 25% here. You get the point, because nobody knows where's the exact top. And for those beginners that are going to come to me and like, hey, what if I take profit and I miss out on potential gains? Well, yeah, you're going to miss out on potential gains, but you have to think of it another way as well. You have to understand that the moment you open a position, whatever you do from that point on is going to be painful, right? You can either accept the pain of taking profit too early, or you can accept the pain of not taking any profit and watching the price fall back to your entry and stopping you out, right? For me, I'm very cool with taking profit early. That's the pain that I choose to accept. And remember guys, just use this website to your advantage, okay? bybt.com, right? Watch the funding rates. The moment funding rates get really high, that's when things will start to get dangerous. You can see that funding rate has been reset very, very nicely. So, it's a good thing, right? Healthy pullbacks. And basically, as always, right? Buy the pullbacks, right? As long as you're in a bullish state. And by the way, on the weekly chart, if you just take a look on the weekly chart, technically, in order for us to be bearish, we would need to break below this level at 29k in order to be bearish, right? We could pull back anywhere during this trend and form a higher low, and this would be bullish. So just remember, buy the pullbacks. When you are in a bullish state, buy the pullbacks. If you're in a bearish state, short the pullbacks, right? Makes sense? And right now, if you feel like, hey, this guy seems to know what he's talking about, or if you've watched my channel for any period of time, you might have realized that I'm right a lot. And if you just want to learn the things that I do, then you're going to want to check out the private Discord group. Over here, you're going to get access to a trading education where I teach you everything that I've learned over the years, and you're going to learn how to filter out what works and what doesn't work. Not only that, you're going to get access to all of my sniper trades where you literally just place an order there and forget about it. And they tend to play out really, really nicely. Not only that, you're going to get access to profitable daily trading setups, as well as altcoin picks. And we have so many people making crazy money in this group. And basically, I can bet a lot of people have already paid off their memberships real quick. At the end of the day, what am I saying? It's probably going to pay itself off. So if you're interested, make sure you join the group. And if you are interested to join monthly, keep an eye out for Sunday, 10 a.m. EST. Remember, I only open up monthly signups for like once a month and probably just for a few hours. So keep an eye out for that. And to all of you who have watched until this point, here is going to be your bonus trading setup for the day. So what you are going to want to look out for is AVAX. I'm going to set a limit order at these two levels, and I'm going to set a stop loss for right below here, right? So the limit order is going to be at 31.7 and 30.65, 30.7, right? Just count it as 30.7. So similarly, if you had $1,000 to play with, I'd go for maybe 500 each, right? So this is going to be a sniper trade. Usually it takes a while to fill. I'm not guaranteeing that this will fill, but if it does fill, then this is going to be a very, very brilliant trade. Now, for those of you in my private Discord server, you know what sniper trades are all about. You literally just set your order and forget about it, right? The stop loss is going to be at 28.5, and these right now, these right now are going to be your TPs, which I'm going to be drawing out over here. So these 5 levels are going to be your TPs at $35, $40.3, $46.4, $52, and $59, right? I know a lot of you have been interested in AVAX, and there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoy this bonus trade. Make sure you screenshot it, and same goes for Bitcoin, right? You are going to want to screenshot that for yourself. I'm already giving you the exact entries that I'm looking for, and if you can't even bother to mark out these levels yourselves, there's nothing more that I can do for you. And if you have watched until this point so far, I really want you to comment down in the comment section AVAX so that I know who are the real ones. I'll make sure to come and say hi. And with that said, my friends, may the gains be with you. I'ma see you in the Discord group, and peace.